Hey guys, it's Cohen, and today I'm going to talk about the weirdest book I've ever read in my life. And if you know me, you know that I am not easily weirded out. This book is called Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Right at the start, you see that everything is a bit off. We start with a group of high-class schoolboys touring around what is essentially a baby factory. It's weird. In this factory, they use a literal assembly line to manufacture babies for specific jobs and assign those babies classes before they're even born. They go from highest to lowest, alphas, betas, gammas, deltas, and epsilons, and they can all be pluses or minuses within that group. This is a way that the world state, which is essentially a country, but the entire planet, and that's how they keep a tight leash on their citizens. The world state also literally reprograms people from birth using sounds played while they are sleeping. Finally, if the people feel any negative emotions, the government/dictatorship encourages them to take a drug called soma. Let's get into the summary now. After the tour of the baby factory, we meet Bernard, a psychologist who is unhappy despite being the highest class of alpha. He is in love with a woman named Lenina and is unhappy that she and everyone else treats her like a piece of meat to be passed around. Oh, and I forgot to mention that all of the children are conditioned to be as promiscuous as possible by their science parents, forcing them to engage in erotic play. Boy, this book is disturbing on so many levels. If I had a large enough fan base, I would worry about being demonetized. So, for once, thank you for my low subscriber count. Anyway, Bernard invites Lenina to go to a savage reservation, which is essentially a place where people still have free will, which all of the civilized people think is awful. They then meet a young man named John and his mother Linda. Linda actually was from the quote-unquote civilized world, and John's father is actually the director of Europe. Bernard takes this opportunity to save his career because, oh by the way, he's on the brink of being sent to Iceland forever, by blackmailing the director of Europe into retiring by threatening to tell everyone that he had a kid the normal way, because that's also a bad thing in this society. It's so weird. To the modern reader, this is just bizarre in every way. Okay, I'm gonna speed things up now because this is already too long of a script. Bernard takes John back to London, where he lives, and he gets all kinds of attention because he knows a savage, and Lenina falls in love with John, but he's a prude from her point of view, and then Lenina tries to seduce John, and then he's like, no, and then he moves to a lighthouse, gets drugged by some news reporters, has an orgy with them, and then kills himself. Holy, you guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, now to the analysis. Brave New World is, of course, a dystopia. For those who don't know, a dystopia is a world where everyone thinks it's fine, but there's some shady stuff going on in the background. Practically everything that the citizens of the world state do is a mandatory way of the leaders keeping everyone happy and unaware. Let's start with the most obvious, the drug soma. In the book, everyone is encouraged to take this drug whenever they feel any negative emotions. This is a way for the world state to keep the citizens happy so they don't rebel against the obvious human rights violations. Now, another obvious one is the literal reprogramming of people from birth. That probably should have gone in the most obvious slot. Whoops. Okay. This means that even if there are a couple of glitches in the system, the rest of society will be reprogrammed to either not notice or just not care. Finally, the less obvious one, why the government wants everyone to be getting their woohoo on with as many people as possible. For reference, in our society, there's a max of like 4 or 5 total sexual partners deemed socially acceptable. Don't quote me on that, I have very little experience in this department. In Brave New World, it's socially unacceptable if by 19 you aren't at a couple hundred. I'll say that again. A couple hundred. At 19. Now, looking past the gross implications of this, why would the world state want this? It's another way of keeping the people under their thumb. By having this ridiculous standard that is against human nature to keep, it puts people in a perpetual state of emotional weakness. Now, that's the end of the analysis. Now that that's over, I need to go rethink my choices in summer reading. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next, God, I hope next less disturbing video. Bye!